So good morning everyone. Today first I'll complete last week is physics unit 19. This paper we have done all the MCQs and today we have to complete essay type question number 2. MCQs we have done. We have to start with essay type question number 2. Essay question number 2 we have to start. So this is actually theory tude. Those who are coming for the theory class, no need to get a printout again. If you the theory tude, at the end of the theory tude you have this paper. This one only for the paper class WhatsApp group. I have posted this, but those who are coming for the theory class, you already have this at the end of the theory tude. Each lesson at the end of the theory tude, I have put some practice questions, right, other than the paper class questions. So anyway, those questions also I'll be discussing in the paper class. All the MCQs we have done. This question also we discuss. Question number 1 also we discuss. So today we have to complete question number 2. This is one of the most commonly asked question in O-level paper also from the chapter 19. Chapter 19, the most commonly asked question, most popular question. Even in term test papers, O-level paper, the most popular question is what? Ohm's law experiment. This is what? Ohm's law experiment. It's a practical is given in the textbook also. Right. I will use the white background for the explanation. You should know sometimes they can ask label in the diagram also. Sometimes they can give the physical diagram and ask you to label it with the drawing the symbols, and they can ask they will give the symbol but they have name it. So you have to identify the components in this circuit and the function of each component. Right. Okay, that's what they have asked in the first two parts. Let's see. First one they ask, what is the equipment R? What is the equipment R? R is rheostat or variable resistor. Mostly in the experiment, Ohm's law experiment, we use the rheostat. That is the one mostly used in the laboratory. What is the purpose of connecting a resistor to any circuit? To change the amount of current flowing through it. Even in our daily life, regulate of the fan, windscreen wiper, television, radio, the volume you have to control using this volume controller O. So therefore R will be rheostat. I'll write the answer. R is rheostat. Next one, rheostat. If someone write variable resistor also accepted, right? Variable resistor also accepted. Next one, what is expected by connecting this rheostat or the variable resistor? To change the ammeter and the voltmeter reading. To change the ammeter and the voltmeter reading. Or you can write to control the current flowing through the circuit. To change ammeter and the voltmeter reading. To change ammeter and, or else you can write to change the reading of X and Y. That was accepted. To change the reading of X and Y. X and Y will be actually a voltmeter and ammeter. X and Y. Or you can write to change the current flowing through the circuit. That is also accepted. To change the amount of current flowing through the circuit. Or else you can write to change voltage and current through the coil P. Through coil P. Both is accepted. Or if someone write Many students joining late the Sunday class. You are a bit late. You all are doing this time all right after May. So be punctual. Put alarm and get up early. Or you can write to change the reading of the meter and the voltmeter. Okay, hurry up, latecomers. Right, part 2. Next one, I'll erase this screen. Next one, there's of the equipment X and Y. Select the equipment that is connected in parallel and series. So in parallel, we connect. I'll write the answer for the next one here. Parallel, what is connected? That is X. What is connected in series? Y. So the answer is X connected in parallel. What is connected? Answer for the part 2. Parallel will be X. Series will be Y. So this is the answer for the part 2. This question very important. You can put 3 stars near this because important question they could ask in term test papers and even in the oral paper. Then next one. Shall I read the screen? Anyone still copying down? Latecomers? Okay. You may get the recording if so. Now they have, now this is unit 19. Unit 19 there are, that is current electricity. There are 2 papers I have given. I have given one paper last 30 years MCQs. That is this one, last 30 years MCQs from current electricity. This is the theoretic that I have given for this paper. Theoretic chapter, the theoretic, at the end of the theoretic, the questions I have given here. Right? Okay, I'll erase this now. You still copying out? Done, right? Okay. And actually, you can see here, this P should be a nichrome coil. P is nichrome coil. When you reduce the resistance of the variable resistor, ammeter and the voltmeter reading also changes. So first you have to on the switch and get the reading of X and Y and plotting that in a table. And again you change the value of R and again take the readings simultaneously X and Y. Like that you can take several readings, pair of readings for the X and Y. Then you plot the graph and you can prove the actually what is the aim. Sometimes they can give this circuit diagram and ask in the exam what is the aim of this experiment. That is to prove the Ohm's law, to demonstrate Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? The relationship between V and I. Voltage is directly proportional to the current at constant temperature and pressure. That is Ohm's law. What is the equation we get from the Ohm's law? V equals IR. Every year you get a question, at least MCQ calculation from V equals IR. V for voltage, I for current, R for resistance. Right? Now, next one. I'll erase the screen. Some students are still joining in the waiting room. Okay. Anyway, I will go for the next one. They will get the recording. If so. Then next one. Some readings are obtained by the group of students using the equipments X and Y given in the table. Right? What quantities? Right. So here, if you want to write the answer, parallel one is parallel X. Parallel you write X, series you write Y. Okay. Restart. or you can write variable resistor. And next one, what quantity is represented by x and y? X represent voltage or potential difference across the coil. Voltage across the coil. Don't write just voltage, write voltage across the coil. Y represent current through the coil. Amount of current passes through the coil. X and Y represent voltage and current respectively. Voltage and current. Right. The next one, plot a suitable graph of X against Y. You have to look at the table and plot the graph. So y-axis they have given y-axis X on y-axis, that is voltage. Y on against Y on horizontal axis, that is current. Current and voltage. Okay, let's see. So without labeling the graph, no marks in the exam. Without labeling the graph, no marks. So what is in the y-axis? I'll write it should be voltage. In other words, the reading of whom? That is X here. The value of X, that is voltage. I'll write within bracket voltage. Here the value of Y means current flowing through the coil. That is current X axis. Horizontal axis Y, that is current here. Now you look at X. What are the values given for X? 1.2 volt, 1.6 volt, 2.5 and 3.6. We will mark here 1.6. There are 4 values. Right. 1.2. Look at the screen. 1.6 increasing by 0.4. Then approximately like 1.2, 1.6. Then 2.4 and 3.6 and 3.6. So you have to mark this according to the scale. Then here the values will be 0.3, 0.4, 0.6 and 0.9. 0.3, 0.4, 0.6. For labeling the axis also they will give marks. For labeling the axis also they will give marks. 0.6 and 0.9. Your current. Right. Now you have to plot the graph. So when you plot the graph, you get a straight line most probably. You get a straight line. You will get a straight line like this. Look at the screen, everyone. You get a straight line. So now it means when the voltage increase, current also increase. When the values of the y-axis voltage, when the voltage increases, current also increases. So we call it what? Ohm's law. Current and the voltage directly proportional. When voltage goes up, current goes up. So it's practically, if you have one battery, the brightness, and with 2 batteries brightness, if you make these 2 batteries brightness double, current double. That's what it means. When you increase the number of batteries, what? Here voltage V, here 2 volt. Here current is high, then it's become 2I. Current become double. When voltage double, current also double. What is this called? So it's kind of common sense. When the voltage increase, amount of current passing through this also increase. So voltage is directly proportional to the amount of current passes through the coil, directly proportional to the voltage. That's what you can prove this. So who conducted this experiment for the first time? George Simon Ohm. Therefore we call this Ohm's law. We call this Ohm's law. Then part C, what law has the group of students attempt to verify? Answer is Ohm's law. Answer is Ohm's law. Ohm's law. Then using the table, find the resistance of P, wire P. So what you can do, you can take 3.6, you can take R equals V over I. Voltage, you can take the voltage, so this side Y will be the current, X will be the voltage, right? X will be the voltage, Y will be the current, capital I, in amperes. So V over I, you get the resistance. That means gradient of the graph. This is not a velocity time graph. Okay, this is not a velocity time graph. This gradient of the graph give uniform resistance. Uniform resistance. This line gives us resistance. How to get the resistance? Gradient of the graph is equal to the resistance. Slope of the graph equal resistance. If this was velocity time graph, we call this uniform acceleration. If this graph was velocity time graph, we call it uniform acceleration. But here is a voltage current graph. From the voltage divided by current, you get the resistance. You get the resistance. Actually, formal equation V equals IR. V equals IR will be the formal equation. So you can rearrange this equation to find R. What is R here? R is resistance. So resistance is constant here. You can see straight line means what? Uniform resistance. Uniform resistance. So resistance is constant. So it's like the velocity time graph, but velocity time graph we call it uniform acceleration. Here we call it uniform resistance. So constant resistance. But there's one condition, they haven't asked that here. Under one condition only this is valid. I mean this Ohm's law is valid under one condition. V is directly proportional to the I only at constant temperature. What quantity should remain constant here? Temperature should be kept constant. So I can write here V equals IR. R is the resistance and it's a constant. From this you can get this relationship R equals V over I, but no need to write everything for the answer. Then you can find here what is the voltage. I'll take 0.9 divided by 3.6, or you can take 1.2 over voltage is this is the other round, X voltage will take value of X. So if you only can take 1.2 over 0.3, or you can take any other pair, say 3.6 over 0.9. What is the answer? Here you get the answer 4 ohms. Here also you get the answer 4 ohms. 9 times 4 36, 3 times 4 12. So any pair if you take, I think you get the same answer, right? That one you get 4. Yeah, that's also 4 ohms. 2.4 this one you get 2.4 divided by 0.6, you get the same answer 4 ohms. Here also you get 4 ohms. Here also you get 1.6 divided by 0.4, you got 4 ohms. Here also you get 4 ohms. In all these, voltage divided by current, V over I, you get the same answer 4 ohms. That's why you call it uniform resistance, or resistance is constant, right? Current and the voltage changes, but resistance constant. Under which condition this is valid? Only at constant temperature. Constant temperature. You have to keep the temperature of the coil constant. That's why you should not keep I don't know how many of you have done this in the school. When you are doing this practical in the school, you have to keep the switch closed all the time unless we are taking the reading. After taking the reading, you have to open this switch. Why? Otherwise the battery get discharged, and the other problem, the coil gets heated up. This coil gets heated up. If coil gets heated up, Ohm's law will not be valid. You will not get this 4, you will get different values. Then you can't prove this law. Right? Then you will tell this law is wrong. We didn't get the expected results. That is the errors in the experiment, or you have not conducted this properly. This is very important. Many papers they ask this question because this is from a practical given in the grade 10 textbook chapter 19. So I'll erase the screen now. Latecomers, at least take a screenshot now. Just now some students join. Right, okay. So I'll erase this. Anyone still copying down? Done. Latecomers, I can't wait until you finish from the beginning everything, but you can take a screenshot or you can request the recording. Next one. Next part. Right. This question consider the circuit 1 and 2. When you look at these two wires, ABC, what is the difference? Voltage, input voltage same. Input voltage 6 volt, 6 volt, right? But when you come look at this, key is used to move this. When you are moving key towards C, the length increase. When you are moving point towards C, the thickness, the length decrease. So here the thickness and the length matters here, no? This wire is thick. This one is thin. That is one thick. So if you take AB portion, what? Only the length is same. Look at everyone. This AB part. If you take only AB part, now the pointer keys are at B. So what matters here? The thickness matters. Or the area of cross section different. If you consider only AB portion, area of cross section. A to B, area of cross section. AB part, area of cross section, that is also called thickness, different. So I'll ask simple question before we move to the questions in this one. When you take AB here, pointer at B, pointer at B. So in which circuit the ammeter gives higher reading? In which one ammeter gives higher reading? Second circuit or first circuit ammeter will give higher reading, higher value. Any volunteers? From which circuit will get ammeter higher reading? Yes, Nisula? Sujivani?
Second circuit.
Very good. Answer is from second circuit. Why? Here resistance low here. Thick wires resistance low. Thin wires high resistance. And if you move this key in the circuit one, if you move the key towards C, what will happen? If you are moving this towards C, what happen? Length increase. Then also what happen? Resistance increase. When the length increases, also resistance increase. When the length increases, resistance increases. Then also what happen? Reading will decrease further. Reading will further decrease. At B also reading is bit low than in the second one. Second circuit highest. Why? Short wires and thick wire. Low resistance. Right everyone? Long thin wire, high resistance. Short thick wire, low resistance. Short and thick wire, low resistance. Low resistance means what? High current. Low resistance means high current. Large current. And in case of this one, long thin wire, high resistance. High resistance means low current. So what are the two factors that can be tested here? The effect, there are many factors affecting the resistance. Which factors can be tested here? The effect of length of the wire and the area of cross section of the wire we can demonstrate from this circuit. So this is the background of this question, right? When you look at the diagram, you can analyze these things. So they are asking here, what can be said about the current flowing in the wire according to the ammeter reading in these two occasions? In circuit 1, in two occasions, key X was brought into contact with point B, and then to see what can be said about the current flowing in the wire according to the ammeter reading in these two circuits. In circuit 2, current flowing is greater than in circuit 1. So what is the answer here? In circuit 2, the current ammeter reading is higher than in circuit 1. In the circuit 2, amount of current, or in circuit, or else you can write ammeter reading. In circuit 2, ammeter reading is, they are asking the ammeter reading. Ammeter reading, what can you say about in circuit 1? So you can write here, in circuit 2, ammeter reading is greater than in circuit 1. Ammeter reading is greater than in circuit 1. Greater than in circuit 1. Is that clear? In circuit 2, ammeter reading is greater than in circuit 1. Why? I told you. Short wire and long wire. Short wire, low resistance. Thin wire and thick wire. Thin wire and thick wire. Thick wire, low resistance. Both will contribute here. Then next one. When key X touches the point C in circuit 1, ammeter reading was 1.5 amperes. Ammeter reading means current. Yes, any volunteers who can give the answer for the part 2? You had used the equation. How to find the resistance? What is the equation? V equals IR, R equals V over I. I'll ask the answer from Nisil. What is the answer you got? Sujoni?
4 ohms.
4 ohms.
Yeah. How to get this? Yeah, very good. Answer is correct. R equals V over I. Look at here, the voltage is 6. Ne? Voltage 6. R equals V divided by I. So you can write here R equals voltage 6, current 1.5. So you get the final answer. R equals 4 ohms. Don't just write the answer, write the method also. Then next one, calculate the resistance of the circuit in wire circuit 2, the resistance. Yeah, any volunteers who can give me the circuit 2, second circuit? Calculate the resistance of the wire in circuit 2. Okay. What will be the resistance? Now resistance will be, so they are also, the voltage is same, but they have not given the amount of current. Any volunteers who has done this last one? How to guess? Yes. Last one answer. Any volunteers? Sumaila? And how to
2
do it?
ohms. Sir, we can guess that in the first circuit, the AB wire is half of the AC wire. No? So in the second circuit, it has bent in the middle. No? So in here, the resistance is lower than in circuit 1. No? So the resistor is half of the circuit 1. Then it is 2 ohms.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So we can take 2 ohms because when the wire is like, bent from the middle, resistance become half, because length also decreases. Length decreases. Therefore we can take resistance become 2 ohms. Very good. They don't ask the reason. You can write the answer 2 ohms when the length is half. When the length is reduced, resistance also reduced, but length reduced by half, then the resistance also reduced into 2, decreased by 50%. Length reduced by 50%, therefore resistance also decreased by 50%. That means become half. Right, so that's the answer for this question. Then next one. Yeah, I had any question, or you have a different answer? Done, right? You are still coming down.
No, sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, in circuit 2, in there, the cross-sectional area has also increased. So what about that?
Yeah, in that way, then you have, it will further decrease up to 1 ohm. But the thing is, they have, but the problem is they have not mentioned here whether they are combined, because it's when you, if you melt it, then what you are saying is correct. But the way they have given in the description, okay, let me explain like this. So it's like this. Therefore, it's actually 2 wires, you bent it, right? So then the thickness, actually if you melt it and combine into a 1 wire, then what you are saying is correct, right? So thickness also will affect, but the way they have given in the description, it's not combined like that. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So here
Yes.
it's like combined like this. So you bend it. Here they have given you bent it, right? Bent from the middle. Bend in from the middle. That's why. But if you use the same type, the thick wire with greater thickness, yeah, correct. Then that also matters. Yes, yeah. But just for your knowledge, I put short wires. But short wire means here, if you use thick wire and thin wire, if you use two separate wires with greater thickness and lower thickness of the same type, right? Okay, I think you got it. You got the point. Otherwise, if you then it become 1 ohm, right? Because that also will contribute. Yeah, good. Always when you have a question, please raise the hand and clarify that doubt. Because if I give the permission to unmute yourself, then what happen? Lot of noise and everyone start talking, and the everything what is happening in your house also I can hear the maybe dogs barking, and the mother is cooking, and pressure cooker and the light and the phone and all this disturbance will come. That's why you can hear me clearly. That's why yeah. So Juni, you have a question to ask?
Yes, sir. In the question number 1, they are asking the ammeter reading when the key X touches the point B and point C, right? So they are not asking to compare the two circuits.
In second and 2 occasions, what can you say about the current flowing in the wire according to the ammeter reading in these 2 occasions? Yeah, that one, not the circuit. So you can write here in occasion 1 and 2, right? Yeah, that means the length matters here, right? In occasion 1, current is higher than in occasion 2. That's what we have right here. In circuit 1, 2 occasions, X key was brought in contact with point B and point C. At point B, ammeter reading is greater. So I'll write here. Yeah, what you're saying is correct. Very good. In occasion 1, or else when key is at point B, right, X was brought into contact with point B, you can write at point B the ammeter reading is higher. Yeah, you can make it not okay. Yeah, not in instead of circuit 1, you can write occasion 1. Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, what you said is not. Even if you write compare the circuit also, this will happen. But since they ask only in one instance, you can write in occasion 1, or when it contact with B. Very good. So yeah, in occasion 1, only you have to change this into occasion 1, not circuit 1. Ammeter reading is greater than in occasion 2. occasion 2, because occasion 1 at point B, at point B the length is less, short length is less, and point C, at C the length is more, resistance is high, current is low. Okay. Now Sujivani, did you clarify that? Yeah, good question you asked, because you have to change that word. Sujivani, is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can write, there are two ways you can write it. The answer at point B, at B the reading is higher than at C. Or you can write in occasion 1 the reading is higher than in occasion 2. But if you only can write for your additional knowledge, if you compare the two circuits also, the reading will not be same, because they are length matters. So they'll also, then in occasion 2 the reading will be higher than, okay, if you like this here, you contact with point C, then what happens, this entire length will affect, and here the length is half, here the length is double. If you compare circuit 1 and circuit 2 at point C and point B, then the reading will be again the same. Occasion circuits 2, the reading will be higher than in circuit 1 at point C. At C in circuit 1 the reading will be lower, at B in circuit 2 the reading will be higher. They are again what matters, length. Okay, good that you asked. Always when you have a small doubt, please raise hand, no problem, right? Then you can, if there's a confusion, then you will not remember this well, right? So that is the end of this paper. That is the end of this paper. And so I discuss theoretical chapter and all the questions in this tune. Then chemistry we have done up to, there are 80, chapter 16, unit 16 chemistry past MCQs last 30 years. We had done up to 50th MCQ. Now this is the 51. Anyone can, because there's a small calculation. They have combined balancing, calculation, equation, balancing, calculation, everything. So when you are given this type of question, my advice, the first step you should write the relative molecular mass, so the molar mass under each. So it's a very popular reaction in most of the O-level papers as well as term test papers. This calcium carbonate thermal decomposition reaction, and it is an endothermic reaction as well, and you get only one gaseous product, and calcium carbonate is used to prepare carbon dioxide gas in the laboratory. If you only can heat and get it, or else you can add an acid into carbonate. If you add an acid to any carbonate, CO2 is given out as the only gas. So let's write the molar mass here. If you take calcium carbonate, the total, look at here, they have given the RAM under each element, they have given the RAM. Based on that you can take, this will be 100, this will be 56, this will be 44. So it's like 40 plus 12, 40 plus 16, 56. Here 40 plus 12 plus 48. Then you get the total 100. That means if you heat 100, you get 56 from quicklime like calcium oxide and carbon dioxide 44. So the question is, if you to get what, according to the equation, the quantity of calcium oxide that can be obtained from 50. So from 50 you can get what? So this become half. Then this also become what? Half. This divide by 2. 100 become 50. That means what? 56 also become half. Then it become 28. This also become half. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. What? It become 22. So if you add this, what happened? Again it become 15. Is that clear? Right? Products, the total mass of the products equal to the total mass of the reactant. So the mass is conserved. If you get these two, you get 100. If you add these two, you get 50. That means in a chemical reaction, the atoms or the elements won't get vanished. Whatever the elements amount present in the left side should appear in the right hand side. That means no loss of mass, unless it's like Einstein equation, E equals mc squared, or nuclear reactions. So there can be because the sun actually emit energy by nuclear reaction. The mass of the sun decreases with time. Mass of the sun decreases with time. Why? The mass is converted into energy, right, by nuclear reaction in the sun, right? Hydrogen and helium. So, but here it's not a nuclear reaction. Therefore, the mass is conserved total mass in the reactant equal to the total mass of the products. So what is the first step? You have to write the molar mass, and then you can find for any amount the required. First you write the molar mass, then you can find the for any amount of mass you can find the total quantity of product. What is the benefit of this? You can talk about environmental pollution. This much of carbon dioxide go into the atmosphere. So it can be in kilogram or gram, no problem. You can change the unit but the same ratio. You can change the unit but the same ratio. So this is constant. This is standard one. But this one, if you use here 25 kilogram, what will happen? This become again half. This will be what? 14 gram or kilogram, and this will be 11 kilogram, or it can be even gram, the same ratio. I think you understood, right? 14 kilogram, then 14 plus 11, again you get what? 25. If you only can make this 12.5 kilogram, then what happen? If this is 12.5 kilogram, this will be 7 kilogram. This will be 5.5 kilogram. For any amount you can find, even for, you can write here to get from 100 you get 56. From 100 you get 56. Therefore from 50, this also you can get it. Without logically also you can do it. What is the logical method here? Don't like this become half each side. Rather than doing like that, you can write straight away what? From 56, from 100 I am getting 56. This is from 100 we get 56 product, 56. Therefore from any amount you can write here, from here they are going 50, from 50 you can write here 50. If you want to find from 100, then you get 56. If you get from 200, you get 112. Did you get the point here? Now imagine I want to find from 100 I am getting 56 quick lime powder. From 100 calcium carbonate I get 56. That is constant. That we can't change. That is the molar ratio, the molar mass. So if I want to find the amount that I am getting from say from 200, then I multiply this by 200. If you want to find from 1000, then I multiply this ratio by 1000. Then from 200, what is the amount we get? 2 times then 112, right? Answer will be 112. So this will be then 56 times 12. So if you put here 200, this will be what? 112, 2 times. So you can do it from this equation, you can get it. Is that clear? You get the answer here, 112. Only from chemical calculation, sometimes they don't ask questions in the oral paper. Calculate this much of moles, calculate the number of moles in this, very rarely. So this is how they ask questions. Sometimes they connect calculations with equations. Calculations combined with the balance equation. What is the benefit of this? Imagine you are doing a business like quick lime. So what is this called? Calcium oxide is called quick lime. What is this called? Quick lime. Hunu porano lime kiln. Please raise the hand those who have seen a lime kiln. We call it lime kiln. Lime kiln. Hunu porano. They have a hut like this, and they pack here corals. They break the corals and pack limestone pieces, and then they put firewood and heat it to a high temperature, like what is this called? Gadol porano. Like, I don't know, the people living in the rural areas, they might have definitely seen this. Gadol porano, like that. Hunu porano. So it's a small scale business in Sri Lanka. Okay, Sumail only raised the hand because I think Sumail from Bibilo somewhere. Sujivani, you are from where?
I'm from Doluwa, sir, from Kandy district.
From Kandy. Okay. Sumaila, you are from which district?
Sir, I'm from Monragalam.
Monaragal. Okay. See, Monaragal and Kandy. So they have seen this, right? So lime kiln. Actually, what happened? They put firewood and heat this lime. From where they get limestone? By breaking the corals in the sea. Then what happened? This calcium oxide is a white powder. So mostly they do this at night. Why? Otherwise people will complain because a lot of smoke coming out. Carbon dioxide, if your house is close to the lime kiln, you can cause breathing difficulty also. Therefore, at about 10 o'clock in the night, they do this. By morning, the job is done. Now, remember, traditional, industry in Sri Lanka. Now, if you are the owner of this industry and next day the customer is asking, I need 28 kilo packet of quicklime tomorrow. So if you are the owner of this business, you can go and check whether I have enough raw material to supply this demand, right? Calcium carbonate, whether the amount I have enough or not. You can go and check, put the total amount of calcium carbonate in the balance and check whether it's how many kilograms you should have to give 28. You should have 50 kilos to provide 28 kilos of lime hunu. You need hunu gal 50 kilos. Look at this ratio here. From 50 kilos you get 28 kilos. So therefore, to provide 28 kilos, you should 50. You can't tell, I don't know, I will heat and whatever the amount I get, I'll give. Then you don't know the chemistry. If you don't know the chemistry, you have to tell what? I will heat whatever the amount remaining and then you have to get it tomorrow. I can't tell exactly whether I can provide this or not. See, the lack of chemistry knowledge. So this is the benefit of chemical calculation and balancing reactions. Now this reaction is already balanced, no need to balance it. So for you, the balancing and doing the calculation just to get marks. But when it's come to the industry, it is very, very useful. Chemist or the consultant will stay in an air-conditioned room and do this calculation and tell the laborers or the owner. So owner sometimes not educated. Owner has money, but he is not educated. Then what happened? He need the consultant from chemist, from someone. Then he has to pay money. But owner is good in chemistry. Then he doesn't need to pay again a salary for the chemist. Then he can manage it, then he can save money, he can make it more profitable. So that is why if you have the brain and if you have money, then like Elon Musk, so he's a genius. I don't know whether you have heard about that person. He is the SpaceX and all this inventor of this what is called microchips and what is it called we call it human microchips. Human microchips, the inventor, right? So there are sometimes in the future you will have to put a chip to your brain, and then you can, whenever you want, you don't need to use the mobile phone. You can watch the YouTube videos. So in front of your eyes you can see the screen, but no one else can see what you are seeing, watching. So that will happen, and then what happen? You directly connected to that network through your brain network. So Neuralink program by Elon Musk. You can search in the internet, right? Okay, so update. Right. Anyway, so next one, question number 52. I gave detailed explanation about this. This is very popular question in all papers. They give a reaction and ask if you use this amount of grams, this amount, how many grams. So gram, you can get the ratio. If you want, can take. If you want, can convert this into moles. Moles also you can do it. Moles also you will get the same ratio. See, this will be 1 mole. This also 1 mole. This also 1 mole. So this is half mole. 0.5 mole. If you get half mole, then it's like that. So therefore mole ratio or mass ratio you can get. Mass ratio you can get the molar mass. Under each write the molar mass. Then you can find for any amount using this ratio. From the molar mass ratio, what? You can get 56 quicklime or hunu. Somebody in Sinhala we call it alu hunu, diya gas hunu. Have you heard about this? What is it called? Lime water. Hunu diya. Lime water also prepared from this technique. I'll give one of the, it's very interesting area this. This is one of the most valuable raw material, calcium carbonate. If you heat, look at, can you please quickly copy on this? Once in the old paper they asked this flow diagram also. New syllabus 2 years back. If you heat calcium oxide, look at the screen because it's connected with your biology also. Right. If you heat calcium carbonate, you get calcium oxide. Calcium oxide, if you put water, spray little amount of water, small amount of water, spray water. If you spray water here, spray water, then you get calcium hydroxide is a solid. Like you get lime packet from the potty and all in from the hardware shops. You can get potty wall potty or something, calcium hydroxide. So this is like a you take another example, chewing with beetle bulattita hunu. It's not a solution. Bulattita hunu is like a paste, it's kind of a paste. So it's a solid. This also solid. This is a white powder. This is called slack lime. Okay, right here the common name here, this is called limestone. Again, this is linked with coelanthrates also. Cnidaria helps to form coral reef in the sea, and this is called quicklime. Quicklime. And this is slack lime. What happened? You put here one more step. You put excess water and dissolve it. You put here excess water. Excess water, then you get a heterogeneous solution. That also calcium hydroxide, but is aqueous, AQ. Then you filter it. Filter. When you filter this, you get lime water. This is how you prepare lime water in the lab. Lime water, that is also calcium hydroxide, but it is homogeneous. What is the difference between these two? This is heterogeneous. It's like not fully dissolved. Particle suspension is there, hetero. This is homogeneous. Lime water is homogeneous. Calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. CaOH twice. So it's aqueous solution that is homogeneous. So lime water is colorless, ne? Lime water is colorless. It is homogeneous. So to this lime water, if you pass carbon dioxide gas, look at the screen. If you pass CO2 gas into lime water, it turns milky white. What happened? It reacts again to form calcium oxide and calcium carbonate and water. You get calcium carbonate and water. CaCO3 plus H2O. This is called milky white. What is called milky white? This is how you identify carbon dioxide gas in the lab. You pass to lime water, you pass CO2 gas. Then you get milky white. That is how you identify carbon dioxide. Now you can see from where. And one more thing. There are many other products. So this calcium oxide, you can heat with carbon. Then you get calcium carbide. Calcium carbide they use for ripening the fruits. Calcium carbide, if you put water, you get acetylene, C2H2, acetylene, C2H2, ethylene. So that is used as a artificial plant hormone also. And this one you can convert into C2H4. C2H4. C2H4 you can convert into C2H5OH. C2H5OH you can convert into CH3COOH. What is this? What is this? What is CH3COOH? Vinegar. Acetic acid. This is ethanol. This is ethene, alkene, ethene. This is ethine, acetylene, ethine. This calcium acid, they're very interesting, right? Limestone in the corals in the sea become vinegar in the kitchen. Corals in the sea become vinegar in the kitchen. Normally we get vinegar what? Usually we get vinegar from kitullo coconut plant ne. Pure coconut vinegar. Pirisidu pol vinagiri. Pure kitul vinegar. Pirisidu kitul vinagiri. But imagine there are no kitul and the coconut trees in the world in the future, but still you can have vinegar from limestone. Therefore, this is a very valuable product. Limestone is also used to make cement. Cement industry also they use. Cement industry. To make cement, limestone is a must. Cement production, you need limestone. There are many other applications of limestone, right? Very useful. What? To make slack lime, diagasuhunu, aluhunu. Then you get lime water. Then you get calcium carbide, then ethine, as acetylene, ethene, ethanol. Actually, this vinegar is ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid. What is the chemical? Vinegar is the common name. We call it ethanoic acid or acetic acid. You have heard about this, right? These things. What are the other terms used for CH3COOH? Please copy down this word. You will never get from the school or from the textbook or from the This is like this kind of flow diagram they can give. I will discuss when I am doing your O level now from April. After April, from May first week, I am going to discuss O level past papers, support seminar papers, Western Province third term papers, prototype papers. Now we are doing the complete grade 10 revision, the last few lessons. Now we are doing unit 19 and unit 16. Complete revision of the last 30 years papers plus the theoretic end of the theoretic questions. So from May I'm going to start model papers, past papers, and then prototype papers, support seminar papers, and provincial Western Province papers in the paper class. That means O level paper class, because this time O level batch is passing out in May. you are there, they have the exam in May, then I have your batch the main priority. So then I'll discuss those papers also in addition to this unit wise revision. Now what is this called? Ethanoic acid. This is called ethanoic acid. Ethanoic. See, here ethine, because it's in your syllabus. This is like the grade 11. You will learn about this hydrocarbon. Ethene, ethanol, ethanoic acid. Eth means 2 carbon. Here all these having 2 carbon. Ethine, ethene, ethanol, ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid is the chemical name of vinegar. What is the chemical formula? CH3C. Please copy down everything. Vinegar, chemical formula CH3COOH, chemical name ethanoic acid. Sometimes this is also called, can you remember Acetobacter bacteria, Acetobacter, acetic acid. This is also called all in one. You will learn all, because in biology they call it acetic acid, Acetobacter bacteria. In chemistry they call it ethanoic acid. In the kitchen you call it vinegar, but all the same chemical substance. Doctors, they write the medicine also like this. What happened? Doctor won't write chemical real generic name of the medicine. He will write like vinegar, ethanoic acid and acetic acid, like the different name, because different brand name they write. Acetic acid, ethanoic acid, same thing. What happened? You go to the pharmacy and ask, this medicine is not there, the other brand is there. Then you go to the next pharmacy, that also they will know, because sometimes doctors getting money from that, writing that brand. From the pharmaceutical company, they are getting money, right, for writing that brand. So therefore every time he's what? Take only this brand. Doctor is telling take only this brand. What happened? If you go to a normal doctor, that medicine is maybe 200, one tablet, maybe cancer medicine. And if you go to a consultant, specialist, what? He'll write the same medicine, a different brand, UK brand or Australian brand. Then what happened? The same medicine is like paracetamol become Panadol, Rapidine, like that. You can the best example. Paracetamol is the generic name. Paracetamol, when you go to the shop, you ask Panadol, because Panadol now in the advertisement also they tell Panadol, but doctor write Rapidine or Panadine. At the end all this paracetamol, right? But the strength can be different, purity can be different, price can be different. Therefore this is like medicine means this chemistry in pharmaceutical industry, pharmaceutical chemistry. So if you are one day if you enter university, not only medicine, if you are doing science, if you are entering science faculty, Colombo or Peradina top university science faculty, after the second year you can do pharmaceutical special degree, pharmaceutical chemistry degree special, pharmaceutical chemistry. Then you can become a consultant for these pharmaceutical companies. They make more money than doctors. So therefore some students, they are not aware of these things. They think science is only medicine and engineering. No, there are many branches in science other than becoming a doctor, right? So one of the biggest in the world, the most top business, what? One is this pharmaceutical industry, medicine, and the next one weapons, right? But that is the bad side of science. But anyway, that also like mafia now, medicine, but anyway that is like trillion scale business now. You can imagine how many people are drinking Panadol per day in Sri Lanka. So what is the, you can imagine the sales. So they will never lose, because even in pandemic situation, what? People need medicine and food. So that business will never, pharmacy, they didn't lose, none of the pharmacy bankrupt due to this pandemic, right? All the business, what? They had to close. But pharmacy, medicines and food industry, so no, they make more money. And the other one, technology. Dialog, Mobitel, Telecom, what? Their profit 3 times double, but everyone is using internet due to the pandemic situation. So therefore you have to think twice when you are going for your higher studies, right? Okay, so anyway, that is for you to think beyond this. Not like a bookworm, like doing questions, not only that, you should know what is happening in the world and how to link your subject to the areas, right? Anyway, the next one, number 52. I gave a lot of information because this reaction is very, very important. At least take a screenshot, or you can okay, I'll highlight here. If you calcium carbonate, calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide, this is lime water and stuff. This one I'll highlight with a different thing. Yeah, anyone raise the hand here? Yeah, Nisula, you have a question to ask?
Sir, this is called industrial chemistry.
Correct. It's industrial chemistry, but industrial chemistry, there are so many industries. Yeah. Yeah, correct. Industrial chemistry. In A-level chemistry, you have a separate chapter. The last lesson under this syllabus, but anyway, you will be getting the, not this current syllabus, in the future, you will get in a new syllabus for A-level chemistry. This is called industrial chemistry. industrial chemist, or else you can become an environmental chemist. So Central Environmental Authority, Madhyama Parisara Adhikar. There are this what is it called, Geological Survey and Bureau, that is Bhuvidya Patal. So there are scientists in Central Environmental Authority. There are sometimes you can see this, you get, when you buy something, they get SGS, SLS, SLS, then ISO. So all these are science people working in those places. SGS, and it's approved, like, standards, international standards. So they are to give the standard, they should know science, something like that. One of the best example, glass cylinders blasting. So who predict the composition? Scientist. But these people change the composition. What happened? Then it's like a bomb. Right? Who predict the composition? Propane and butane. Propane 30%, butane 50, 70%. In the gas cylinder, propane 30%, butane 70%. What happened? When the people changed according to their will, the composition, what happened? Then the pressure will change. Then what happened? It's blast. Many accidents. So when uneducated people handle the business, then the problem, right? Okay, so therefore all these chemicals, right, including the gas cylinder in your kitchen, it's chemistry and physics. Pressure come from physics, butane, propane, and the percentage, and the all this chemistry, and production of propane and butane from crude oil also chemistry. Chemical industry, fractional distillation, and even if you take petroleum industry, petroleum, oil refinery, petrol, diesel, kerosene, these days, all these are chemical industries. Therefore you can become a consultant. The nuclear chemistry, nuclear scientist. So all this, there are many branches under chemistry and physics. If you are good in chemistry and physics, there will be a big demand for you. When you pass out from the university, you will get the job. Otherwise you will have to protest in front of the parliament or somewhere, the job. If you become art graduates or commerce graduate, because many people are doing that, then less demand, right? Anyway, with artificial intelligence, robotics, and digitalization, less demands for those jobs in the future, right? Okay, right. Anyway, so this is because you should you don't get this career guidance from the school sometimes, and the government schools, this is one drawback, I mean the weakness. So there's no career guidance, so the lifelong learning for the students. Therefore you should know about, you have to update that anyway, right? Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 50, 2 and 53. Based on this table, look at the screen. They have given 4 metals, I think. Yeah, 4 metals. 4 metals, X, W, X, Y, Z. This is from which lesson? Grade 10 chemistry, chapter 16. That's what we are doing. Unit 16. Grade 10, unit 16. Now, right. They are asking descend in order of activity. Always highlight, pay attention to the active word. Descend in order of activity. That means what? Highest to lowest. Highest to lowest activity. Highest to lowest. Which one has the highest activity? React, react, react. So without chemistry also, if you have common sense, you can get react, react, react. If something react with everyone, what it is the most reactive one? Number one is what? X, right? X will come first. Okay, I'll put number 1, 2, 3, then you can get the order. Okay, most reactive one will be X, because it reacts with everything. It reacts with everything. Therefore, number 1. The next one, react, react, doesn't react. React, react, doesn't react. That is number 2. Z will be number 2. Then reacts only with HCl. That is W, that is number 3. Doesn't react with anything. No reaction with anything. That is number 4. This is the least reactive one, is Y. Least reactive one will be Y. So don't look at the answer. Now you look at the table and organize your answer. Descend in order means highest. Highest is what? 1. Second highest, 1 means I'll write X here, sorry. X will be highest, then second highest Z, third highest W, lowest Y. See whether in which one this answer is there. Answer is X Z W Y. X Z start with X. X Z W. Answer is second, right? Answer is second. Please raise the hand those who got this answer. Second answer. X Z W Y. Right. Okay, right, good. Very good those who got this answer with this understanding, but without chemistry also you can do this now. Reacts with everything means most reactive one. Descending means highest to lowest. Descending word important, and then the chemical reactivity also. The next one, which of the above likely to be sodium? Sodium react with everything. Therefore, who is likely to be sodium here? Who is the most reactive one? Answer is which metal like to be sodium? Yes, I'll ask the answer from yes, Vinuka, Vimansa.
X.
Yeah, answer is X here, correct. Whenever possible, please raise your hand when I ask a simple question, because every time this, what I can remember, this Sumela Sujivini and the set of students like the others, they always the same set of students raising the hand. Nisula, I can remember their name, but others like I never see they raise the hand for any question or even to ask a question or to clarify a doubt. They never raise the hand. Right, get the maximum use, because anyway you can see now transport problem. Right, now again you have to stay at home. Right? Electricity problem, right? Pandemic problem. So this is actually by individualism, like we call it by 2040 there will be a social isolation. That means what? Samaja hudakala. So this will never back to normal, most probably, right? With the according to the in the future the current with the current, because ongoing wars in the world, and with this the shortage of, because anyway petrol and diesel will vanish within in the future, and then anyway you have to go for solar or some other alternative energy sources, and with that the transport problem for the physical thing, then again you have to stay at home and do online. So therefore the world is going to that end, right? For the digitalization, miniaturization, and that means things becoming smaller devices, miniaturization, and sensor, that means sensors will come, and the other one is digitalization. Yeah, so digital world, then education also will get definitely digitalized. So when everything become digital, how can the education only become without updating? So that will happen. You will get digital laboratories. You can do the practicals without going physically to the lab. Now the problem that people will complain, okay, online how can we do the practicals? How can we? So only for the sports physical activity only you have to go out. That means what? You can do everything at home if you go only once a week the school, sometimes only to do those various committee or the societies, and to do the sports and social interaction. Everything else then is happening. Even if you come to physically, that the same knowledge you get here, right? It's like tuition, right? Unless they do the practicals physically. Right. Question number 54. You can see 1 liter of petrol now more than 250 rupees. 250 rupees. Sometimes what happens? You have to pay more for the trishow or the vehicle than paying fees for the class in the future, right? Sometimes class fees also they will increase, physical classes. So the transport cost become more than the tuition fee sometimes at this rate. So therefore better to stay at home and do it if we are doing tuition. Because that you can money that, as in for the addition to the transport cost, you have to wear something, you have to wear good clothes. You can't use the same clothes that you're wearing at home to go to the class, or you have to buy clothes. Then you have to transport cost, then the safety, right? All these matters, and you have to waste some time at home to get ready, right? And you have to carry physically books and stuff. All this there, and again the power cut in the physical class. But this one online thing, you have to keep the devices charged. In the future by April, again don't tell sir lightning can't join. Mobile phones no risk. mobile phones, you will never die from lightning due to the usage of mobile phone unless it is connected to the plug point. Plug point, if you connect, keep the device fully charged and use the mobile phone anywhere, no problem. But not at the top of the mountain and the paddy field and the open area or playground. So if you are inside the house, mobile phone, there's no risk at all unless you have wired connection, right? Wired connection. The router also you can have a backup, UPS backup, right? So then, because it's not an excuse, power cut can't join because we can't change the government, we can't change the country, so we have to get adapted to that situation. Can't help. Virus we can't kill, therefore we have to get used to the change our lifestyle based on the virus behavior, something like that. You have to get adapted to the new situation, right? Because we can't change the world. World is going to that end, we can't stop, right? Then number 54. According to the data given in the diagram, potatoes in which vessel get boiled short time. So why? Okay, this is like common sense. When you're okay, I'll ask the question from you all first. Sumela, yes. Vinuka, Sujivani.
C.
Letter C.
Yeah, very good. Why it's boiled fast? This is 2005 O level. In C, what happened? It's more small pieces. That means what? More surface area. Actually, why when making the curry, we put curry powder, right? Kaha kudu, lunu kudu, miris kudu, tunapaha kudu. Why powder? Can't we put large piece? Cube of like non, what is this chicken cube? What is this? That don't eat that. If you eat that, you will get a cancer here, right? This what is this called? I don't know this the name commercial, but I have not used never. What is called sometimes the soup cat and all this contain MSG, Ajinomoto, and the various flavors, artificial flavors and coloring agents and stuff. So don't ever use that. Or even for making the soup, no use of drinking the soup with that cube, right? So because it's contain artificial flavoring agent. So therefore, why we use most of the time this powdered form, more surface area, more interaction with water, then you can do the job. You can finish the job in less time. You can save the time, fuel, money. You can save time, you can save money, and you can save. That's why even vegetables, you can put the entire potato and make the curry, or you cut it to pieces. You get the snake goat, loofah, vatakolu patola, you cut into small pieces. Why? Then it nicely mix up with the powder and the spices and the salt, and you can finish the job in less time. Therefore, it's get boiled fast because heat interact with all the pieces simultaneously when you cut this into small pieces. So that's why the answer is, that means more surface area, more interactions, more contacts, and then it will participate more for the heat or with physically or both physically and chemically more interaction. Right? Therefore, heat is transferred efficiently and it takes less time to boil. Common sense. Common sense. Question number 55. 55. Something that cannot be explained in relation to the position of the metal in the activity series. I told you activity series you have to study. Otherwise, no point of doing oral science paper without knowing the activity series. It's like you are going to do English without knowing the alphabet. There are two things you have to memorize in chemistry: periodic table and activity series. Right? Any volunteers who can give me the answer for the question number 55? Nisula?
Fourth
Sanitha?
answer.
Anita?
Fourth answer.
Sujivani?
Fourth answer.
Yeah. Very good. All of you are correct. Use of aluminium for cooking utensils. That cannot be explained by this. That is not actually because it's a good conductor of heat, electricity, and it doesn't react with the curry. Actually, they are asking cannot be explained. Non-existence of metal, iron, tin, and that is can be explained with the activity. Difficult to extract metals which are higher in the activity. Gold jewelry remains unchanged for a longer period of. That is least reactive. Least reactive. Here moderately reactive. Here highly reactive. But use of aluminium for cooking not only because of the activity series. Aluminium is the most abundant metal in the earth. What is right? Aluminium is the most abundant metal in the earth crust. Most abundant metal in the earth. Not out of all the elements, out of all the metals. out of all the metals, aluminum is the most abundant. Price of this also increasing because elements in the world is limited, in the universe limited. Elements won't multiply. Whatever the elements in the aluminum in the earth is, because we are continuously. That's why its price of vehicles increasing annually. And because the metal price increase, metal price will never decrease. Electronic items, sometimes gadgets decrease, but those heavy vehicles and all, yeah. Then question number 56. 56, any volunteers? You can give me the answer for the question number 56. Menuka,
Answer 4.
Randi,
Second answer.
Sujivani, Sumela.
Second answer.
Second answer. Some of you give fourth answer, some of you give second answer. Let's see. Now, any gas is lighter than water. Any gas is less dense than water. You can write here. Any gas is less dense than water. Or if you fill the balloon with any gas, it will rise up. It will be pointed up. Any gas is less denser than water. Any gas is less denser than water. Here water. Therefore this is correct because it's pointed up. And this is pointed down. Its heaviness. So here it's air. Here it's air. Therefore this should be what? Heavier gas like carbon dioxide. This can be any gas. Because it's water, any gas, the balloon is pointed upward if you attach to the bottom of the container, because any gas is less dense than water. So here it will be lighter gas. Why it is pointed up? Air is here, so it's light in weight. Heavier gas, carbon dioxide, heavy. Here light gas, lighter. Here can be any gas. What is the answer? Answer is H2, CO2 and any gas. H2, CO2 and any gas. Answer is second. Very good. Please raise the hand those who got the second answer for this. It's a very good question. See the way they ask questions. What you study in the textbook. Properties of hydrogen, uses of hydrogen, preparation of hydrogen, collection of hydrogen, identification of hydrogen, properties of carbon dioxide, uses of carbon dioxide. Properties have they asked here? Write down properties of CO2, write down properties of hydrogen, write down properties of gases. No, this is how they ask the question. So you have to analyze the data given. You have to analyze the data given in the answer table. So that those are more, higher order questions, higher order of thinking, high level of thinking. So low level, like just recalling the previous memory, less questions under new syllabus papers. Okay. Question number 57. I'll erase the screen. 57th MCQ. Very good, those who had done it. Nearly 10-15 students raised the hand. Very good. I don't know why you are, even though your answer is correct, why I don't know why you are a little reluctant to raise the hand and give the answer anyway. Question number 57. Again, you can see there's from a calculation. 2007 O level. This is called hydrated copper sulfate, which is blue. This is hydrated copper sulfate. It is blue. If you want to write here, what is this? Hydrated copper sulfate. This should be not hydrated, HH, hydrated. So what is the color? It's blue. And dehydrated copper sulfate is white. His dehydrated copper sulfate, it is white. Right, white. Please put an arrow and write dehydrated copper sulfate is blue. Dehydrated copper sulfate is white. So what mass of hydrated copper sulfate needed to obtain 16 grams of anhydrous, or not anhydro, anhydrous copper sulfate, that is called dehydrated, which is white, that is CuSO4. Without water, anhydrous. Spelling wrong here, DROUS, anhydrous. Is hydrated. Hydrated means with water. Anhydrous means without water. Now let's see the molar mass. Earlier also I told you the same technique here. Under each you have to write the molar mass. Then you can get the answer easily. Look at the screen everyone. You have to get the total here. CuSO4.5H2O. CuSO4.5H2O. Let's see the total. then you can get the answer easily. CuSO4 plus water plus 5 water. When you are heating, this reaction take place. How to convert hydrated form to dehydrated? By heating. You heat this. When you heat, this reaction happen. Can you please write one more thing? Anhydrous copper sulfate can be used to identify water. Can be used to identify water. What is the other chemical substance used to identify water in the lab? Anhydrous cobalt chloride can be used to identify water. Why I am telling a lot of other information? Because sometimes you might not do the first lesson again, right? Identification of water present in food sample you have done in the biology. So this is biology. Anhydrous copper sulfate can be used to identify water in a food sample. The other substance, anhydrous cobalt chloride. So those things also you have to recall when you are doing a question. Now let's see the total. Copper they have given. The problem is they haven't given the copper total mass. They have not given, no. Have they given at the bottom separately? No. So they have to give it. They free. Copper is 63.5 as I remember. You can check the molar mass. Please copy down the molar mass under H. Wait. I'll give that. I have given you this periodic table. Form of the periodic table I have given to everyone. You should keep a printout whenever if they give a question, even in the school term test paper, sometimes that they'll forget this. RAM of any element they should give. Without RAM, if they make a question even in the oral paper, A-level paper, they will have to give free mark for that. Now I'll show this long form of the periodic table. Look at here. Copper is 63.5. You can't round off this. 63.5. Here copper. Sulfur is S here 32. Sulfur is 32. S. Look at the screen everyone. Sulfur 32. Copper sulfate and oxygen is 16. Oxygen and oxygen you are familiar 16. Sulfur 32. 32.1 we take the approximately 32. And copper is 63.5. 63.5. So I'll erase this. Let's move back to the paper again. Right. Now how to do this? Okay, please write everyone. Copper write 63.5. Copper 6. That should be given. Otherwise, no free mark. They will have to give free marks in the exam. Right here, copper 63.5. Then sulfur 32. Oxygen oxygen 16. Hydrogen 1. Or just I'll write quickly. Water is equal 18. Then total is 32 and oxygen 16 and water is 18. H2O water is 18. Molar mass of water 18. Now you get 5 times 18. 5 times 18. One water molecule is 18. 18 into 5 you get 90. Plus this one you get 32. Copper, so copper 63.5 plus sulfur 32 plus 4 oxygen atom you get 64. How come 64? 16 into 4. Oxygen you get 16 into 4. 64. And then you get 64. When you add all these 4, 63.5, 32, 64 and 90. What is the total? Okay, we'll take these three first. Here you have to put the plus sign. Here also you have to put the plus sign. Okay. So here you get these three, the total. Right. When you get the total, you get the answer. Then you get the copper sulfate molar mass you can get. Can you work out? Don't wait until I write the answer. You can quickly get the total and do it. Because you know the method now. Previous question I told mass ratio you have to get. So you get 159.5 here. To that you have to add Did you get the same answer? To get the, if you had 90, then you get 249. What is the total here? 249.5 grams per mole. So if you heat 249.5, copper sulfate will be 159.5. Please raise the hand those who got this answer. The copper sulfate dot 5H2O, this is the total. Only copper sulfate 159.5 grams per mole. Right, good. Okay, right. Now the question is this: to get 16 grams of anhydrous copper sulfate, what mass should be heated? What mass should be heated? That means what? To get 159.5, to get 159.5, you need what? 249. From 249 you get from 249 you get 159.5. Therefore the question is what? If you use to get 16, what amount should be heated? The question is to get 16 grams of this anhydrous copper sulfate. Any volunteers? Basic max. Now the rest is max. Rest max. To get 16, what amount should be heated? Yes. I'll ask the answer from Isula, Sumela.
Fourth answer.
Fourth answer.
16 grams. Hydrated copper sulfate also you get 16 grams, both 16. With water. Yeah, with water. Hydrated means with water. You have to take this with water. 249 point. You get the fourth answer. You mean? Sumela, what is the answer you got?
Second answer.
Fourth answer.
Devmin, what is the answer? What is the answer?
Second answer.
Second answer. Sumela, what is the answer you gave?
Sir, I gave fourth answer.
Fourth answer, second answer. Fourth answer, second answer. Right. Okay, let's see. To get 159. Okay, look at the screen, everyone. This is the logic behind this. To get 159.5, I should heat 249.5. Then therefore to get 1 gram I should heat 249.5. Okay, to get 1 gram, to get 159 this much, therefore to get 1 gram 249.5 divided by 159.5. Therefore to get 16 grams, this ratio should be multiplied by 16. This ratio should be multiplied by 16. 249.5 divided by 159.5. So then you multiply this by 16. 249.5 divided by 159.5 into 16. What is the answer you get? Then you get this answer. Yes? What is the answer you get? Now do this calculation. At least now do the calculation and tell me the answer. Look at here. You get to get 159.5, you need this much. From 150 to get 159, 249 required. to get 16. Multiply this by 16. This ratio from molar mass. This ratio from molar mass. Multiply this by 16 grams to get 16. What is the answer you got? When you simplify this, what is the answer you got, Sumaila? Sujimani,
Second answer. Second answer, sir.
Nisula?
Second answer, sir.
Yeah, when you
Yes, sir.
simplify, you get the second answer.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Sumaila.
Sir, when we getting approximately that 249.5 as 250 and 159.5 as 160, then we can get round of value 25 grams.
Yes, correct. Yeah, correct. So you can get, yeah, good. You can round off this, yeah. Then you can get approximate because they have not given fractional values for the decimal values. Ne? So if you take this 250 and this is you take 160 ne? And into 16, then you get, then it's easy to simplify. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so good. So then 16 times whatever is 16 times 1, 16 times 16 times 10, 16 times 1, 250 divided by 10, you get 25. Okay. Because most probably O-level paper, they might have definitely given copper equal 64, I think, right? Because 63.5 is the exact value. 64 because of this isotopes, I think you get this 0.5. So then it becomes 10, 10, 0, 0 you can cancel, then you get the answer 25. Okay, so here the answer will be 25 grams. So this is kind of a hard question for the students too, because now what you are doing in grade 10 chemistry calculation, molar mass of carbon dioxide. Molar mass, they have got so many questions. The teacher also asks you to write molar mass of water, number of moles of water. But when it's come to the O-level paper, this is how they ask the questions. They give the reaction. Then to get the answer, you have to find the molar mass. No need to ask separate questions from the molar mass. To find the, you have to do the molar mass, you have to find the molar mass to do this. Then no need to ask separate questions from the molar mass. Right. Then question number 58. It's a very good question. Please raise the hand, be honest. Please raise the hand those who got this answer before me with this method calculation. How many of you got before me? Right. Afan, Binuka and Setika. Right. Very good. Right. Very good. Right. Then next one, 58. 58. 58 burns it yellow. Yellow means sodium. Highlight the word yellow. Which metal burns with yellow flame? Yellow flame, sodium. Yellow flame, sodium. Burns with bright white flame, magnesium. Very popular question again in the recent papers also, oral past papers. Bright white flame. Bright white flame, what? That's magnesium. It's magnesium. Mg. I'll write here magnesium. Yes, sodium. Then next one, what? Does not burn even when heated strongly. Does not burn even when heated strongly due to the oxide layer. That is aluminium. Best example, does not burn even when heated strongly with because of oxide layer. This is a very good application. Cooking utensils, cooking pots in the kitchen, gas cooker, aluminium. Outermost surface or innermost surface is not pure aluminium. Aluminium pot, remember, inside aluminium, but the surface is what? Aluminium oxide. Aluminium oxide layer. Aluminium oxide, Al2O3. This doesn't react with the curry. This doesn't react with the, it's not pure aluminium. Aluminium cooking pots, surface is not aluminium oxide. Surface is not pure aluminium, it's aluminium oxide. It's inert layer. Aluminium oxide is inert layer. It doesn't react further. Inert layer. Inert oxide layer on the surface. It can react with the acid, but not with water and the curry. Therefore, you should never make ambulti almalu, chutney or whatever the goraka, all this vinegar stuff. Don't use aluminium pots. It can cause aluminium food poisoning. To make these things, you can use clay pot. Right? If you are adding vinegar or gasini or goraka or tomato or making pol sambal, don't use aluminium pans. Right? Use clay. Clay is the best one to cook. What is the best material to store water? Clay. Right? What is the best material to cook? Clay. Clay pot. Best material to use that can be used for cooking, clay. Now, even when I was small, I can still remember in my grandma's house was a clay pot. No refrigerator at that time. That is in 1980s. Right? About 30 years back. 30 years back. The entire village only one television, that also black and white. Right? No mobile phones that time. Mobile phones came after 1980s. After that time no mobile phone, only land phone. No mobile phones about 30 years back. You can see the industrial revolution now. Within 30 years, this world is completely upside down. After 30 years, you can imagine now within next 30 years how fast this will change with the nanotechnology. Right? Your children will be in another world, like in a different world. So is clay pot, when you use water, clay can absorb unwanted heavy metals from water. Water get automatically purified because of the clay. And what happens from the tiny pores, water gets evaporated. Water gets evaporated from the clay pot. This won't happen in glass or plastic. When water gets evaporated from the surface of the clay pot, not a lot, maybe like few milliliters per the whole day. So what happens inside the pot, the water cools down. No need the refrigerator, right? So when you're taking water, it's like not hot, it's like cooling sensation. This is the best material to store water, clay. And best material for cooking also clay. Why? Not poisonous substances really added to food or water. But when you're using plastic, what happened? Plastic bottle, plastic container, plastic can leach. Leaching can occur from the plastic to water. Chemicals get added when it's become hot. That's why most of the bottles they would keep away from direct sunlight. Even plastic water bottle, mineral water bottle. Have you ever observed the label of the mineral water bottle? They put not to expose to direct heat and light. Keep away from direct light. Why? When light falls, because if you are using tap water, chlorine, that is worse than in well water, mineral water. Mineral water bottle, if you are using again, if you are reusing mineral water bottle to put tap water, it is dangerous. Tap water contain chlorine. In the presence of light, chlorine can react with plastic and you get definitely, no wonder if you are using that bottle for a longer period, you will end up with a cancer, lung cancer or something, colon cancer or the stomach or what. And the other one, so therefore, is glass also better than plastic. Glass much better than plastic. Glass inorganic, clay inorganic, plastic organic, linseed organic, right? Polythene organic, but clay inorganic. Glass inorganic. Glass also better. So therefore, make your maximum effort to store water in a glass bottle at least instead of plastic. Best thing is clay pot, but you can't carry clay bottles to the school. But you can at home you can use a gurulet or something like ancient. So the other thing is sometimes in front of the door that time no tap line, no tap water, no municipal water. So the people were used to keep a it's called pintali or something. Keep in front of the houses. There's a clay pot or the large one with a lot of water only for drinking. People no transport because that time only like now you have to go to that age now, right? People are using bullock cart, gonkaratte, and bicycles, or they walk long distance. Therefore, less heart attack that time because people they have physical exercise automatically when they are walking. No jogging tracks. People were used to people like what is this called? No blender, grinder, washing machine. They do work from the hand, so then they get enough physical exercise. No need to go to the gym by paying money, right? So that time the people had less diseases, less cholesterol, less diabetic. Now it's become fully comfortable, then people getting sick. Life become more comfortable, people are sick. Right? So that is the that's why long distance when they travel, what happened? They never ask water from they will drink water from this clay in front of the houses they keep. Now remember, in the future there will be a time you will never be able to ask a glass of water for free from a place. In the future they will add to your bill for drinking how many glasses of water you drink if you go to a hotel or restaurant. Okay, 2 glasses of water you have consumed, for that cost they will put, okay, 1 glass 50 rupees, 50 rupees into 100 rupees for drinking water. Right now you are paying only for food. Normally they don't charge water unless you get mineral water bottle, right? If you go to shop, like if you get tap water, so they won't charge. But in the future you will have to pay for water also. You will get a bill with the food for water also, right? So this will happen definitely. Now also some other shops, unless you ask, they will know. If you go to KFC, McDonald's, they don't give water. They ask what is what, Pepsi or Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite. They ask which fizzy drink you want with the food. They'll give what? This one Pepsi, 2 cups free with the food. Then people are drinking that one fizzy drink instead of water. So then in the future they'll or else if you have to buy mineral water bottle, you have to pay separately and buy. Top hotels also you have to pay water. They deliver the mineral water bottle. Then after eating food, anyway you have to pay water. Now normal shops or the restaurants, so they don't charge, they don't give a separate bill for water. But in the future this will happen. In the future you will have to pay for breathing also, oxygen in urban areas, because of the air pollution. Government has to clean air in the all those cities, like PETA. In the future you will have to, for staying in that area, you will get a bill also, like entering the highway. So you can imagine now people are talking about the development, but development on the other hand, pollution, right? Okay. Now this question, what is the answer now? Sodium, magnesium, aluminium, right? I started with aluminium oxide, the cooking pot, and then ended up with the clay pot and gave a lot of other information, because this scientific literacy also should improve. If you are good in science, you should know the practical application of science to your day-to-day life. So what is the answer for this? Sodium, magnesium, X sodium. They are asking respectively the correct sequence XYZ. XYZ will be sodium, magnesium, aluminium. Answer is 4th. Please raise the hand those who got the 4th answer before me. Question number 58, 4th answer. Right, very good. Then question number 59. 59. Select the response that use acid, base and salt. Acid, base and salt, you have to get that respectively. So look at the answers. Out of the acids given here, first one should be acid. Okay, acid correct. This is wrong. Why? Because first one is a base here. Sodium hydroxide is a base. You can't take that. So omit the second answer here. Omit the second answer. Right? Omit the second answer. This type of question, my advice, first one should be the acid, therefore you can omit this. Second one should be what? Base. Second one has to be a base, so you can omit the which one. Second one is a base, this one you can omit because this is acid. This is acid. Then out of 3 and 4, what is the most correct answer? Third one is salt. Then you can omit the third answer. Why? Look at the screen. Calcium hydroxide is not a salt. That is a base. Calcium hydroxide is a base. Therefore, because of this, you can omit the third. So then the answer is 4th. Please raise the hand those who got the 4th answer. Answer is 4th. Acid, base and salt. Copper sulfate is a salt. Calcium hydroxide is base. Any hydroxide is base. Any hydroxide is a base. Calcium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, any hydroxide. Say example KOH, even lime water, NaOH, right? Calcium hydroxide, any hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, any hydroxide is basic. And most of the acids end in ic. Hydrochloric, acetic, hydrochloric, end in ic. Nitric, end in ic. Phosphoric, acetic acid, or ethanoic acid, ic. Vinegar, ethanoic, ethanoic. Carbonic acid, soda. Carbonic acid, the name ends in ic. Sulfuric, nitric, phosphoric, sulfuric, battery acid, end in ic. Nitric, acetic, ethanoic, carbonic, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid. The name ends in ic. Acids, the name, most of the acids, not all, like there are some exceptions when you come to A-level chemistry, but all level, the acids, the name ends in ic, and it has hydrogen. If OH minus present or hydroxide ions present, it's a base. That is 2008. Question number 60. I'll erase the screen. 60th MCQ. What is the answer? Any volunteers? 60th MCQ. The answer? Sujivani, Malitma, Sumela,
Fourth
Senita.
answer.
Fourth answer. They are asking discovered through the process A. Removing the waste matter from the ores and discovering the metal. Discovering the metal compound and running the compound through chemical transition. Which metal are discovered through the process A? Right. So if you are removing waste from the ores, mining, least reactive metals can be extracted by this method. But least reactive metal can be extracted by this method. Discovering of metals, there are two paths. If you are subjecting to a chemical reaction, chemical transition, then the process B, you need a chemical transition. Please write most reactive metal. Most reactive metal, you need chemical transition, means like one of the best example, iron extraction. Iron extraction, you have to do a chemical reaction, right? Blast furnace, there are so many reactions. So discovering the metal compound, say maybe hematite, Fe2O3. Hematite is the metal. Now hematite you have to subject to what? Chemical reactions in the blast furnace. Fe2O3, hematite. So then hematite can contain impurities also like carbon and sulfur, then you discover. So this one like silver, gold, platinum, just to remove the waste, like maybe sand and the other particles mix up with gold, platinum, least reactive metal. So this is most reactive metals, or moderately, or most reactive. Actually most means moderate reactive, not like lithium, sodium, potassium. Moderate reactive one. Moderately reactive one. This is highly reactive, least reactive. Least reactive, just to remove the no chemical reactions required, just to remove physical method. Least reactive metals like silver, gold, platinum, physical method. This is a physical method, just removing the waste by grinding, crushing, filtering, like washing, no whatever. So the gem, like mining. So the answer is fourth. Very good. I think Sumela gave the correct answer. Next one, the equipment most when metal. So that is blast furnace. Blast furnace. Answer is second. Question number 60. Why old? This is the about 12 years back. There was a syllabus change in 2008. 2008 O level. There were two papers. New syllabus paper and the old syllabus paper. That's why the old syllabus paper they have given these two questions. When they introduce new something new to the syllabus, the repeaters, the second side, those who are doing the repeating the exam, then they give the old syllabus paper. New syllabus students, they'll get the new paper, right? And that is question number 61. Please raise the hand those who got both this correct. Right. About few students. So chemical transition means like hematite with Fe2O3 react with carbon or carbon monoxide, and then you get iron like that. Yeah. Right. Good. Then next one, number 62. I'll erase the screen. Question number 62. When metals mechanically extracted from metal B, chemical that compound should be tested to mechanically extracted through method B, the chemical compound should be tested. Electrolyzed in the fuse compound being heated vigorously. Chemical compound should be tested. Yeah, any volunteers for this? I think sometime you might have not done this in your theory. Sumela, Nisula, any guess?
First one.
Best answer.
Yeah. So you can hit it strongly, no? Yeah. Mechanically extracted, you can hit it. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Answer is first. Then you can check whether any impurity is present, then they will turn into oxide and getting removed. Mechanically extracted, yeah. Then because then sulfur present becomes sulfur dioxide. Then sulfur is going out. Carbon become carbon dioxide is going out like that. Question number 63. That is easy. That is relevant to your syllabus also. But the previous one, if you can omit 62, like no need to worry if you find it difficult, because it's all syllabus. Now this one, what are the types of reactions given below, which are the examples respectively? First one is combination. First one is combination, right? Combination. Decomposition wrong, decomposition wrong. Then the answer is first one, no need to take the others. This is a very bad MCQ, right? If you know, if you can predict the first one, you can get the answer. Sorry, this is the other one. Decomposition. Sorry, I had a mistake. Wait. This is decomposition. Second one is combination. Sorry about that. This is combination. This is decomposition. This is single. Combination will be the second one. Combination will be the second one. So the first one is decomposition. Then you can omit the first one. So out of this, the second one is combination. Then you can use third also you can remove because of single displacement. So out of 2 and 4, what is the answer? Last one is single displacement. Last one is single displacement. Definitely. Answer is 4. Please raise the hand those who got the fourth answer. Question number 63, answer is 4. Very easy. At least this question you have to do properly. Right, very good. Answer is 4. Question number 64. Color change during heating. Color change during heating. Today also I told hydrated copper sulfate is blue, anhydrous copper sulfate is white. Answer is second. Please write everyone. Hydrated copper sulfate is blue, anhydrous copper sulfate is white. None of the other chemicals colored. This is white. Therefore, blue turns white when heating hydrated copper sulfate. Remember, sodium, potassium, lithium, beryllium, magnesium, calcium. These compounds do not form colored compounds. Look at the screen, everyone. Lithium, sodium, potassium, group 1, group 2, group 3 metals do not form colored compounds. Right here. They do not form colored compounds. Why here the blue? Because of copper, not because of sulfate. Because of copper it's blue. So the other side, because copper and the water molecules, water with copper, blue. Sodium group 2 white, not a colored one. Sodium group 1 colored, not a colored one. Sodium bicarbonate, white powder. Baking soda is, what is sodium bicarbonate? Right here, sodium bicarbonate is called baking soda. Baking soda or baking powder. Sodium hydroxide, none of the like sodium hydroxide, sodium chloride, sodium nitrate, sodium sulfate, sodium bisulfate, sodium chloride, sodium bromide, sodium iodide. Any compound of sodium is not colored. Right? Remember that. And sometimes you might argue this. What about potassium permanganate? Potassium permanganate, that is actually purple, right? Potassium permanganate purple, potassium manganate is green. What is this? KMnO4 is potassium permanganate, that is used to prepare oxygen gas in the laboratory. When you heat potassium permanganate, it becomes potassium manganate and it turns green. There will be a color change. Why this color? Not because of potassium. The color is due to manganese. So therefore they are widely used in ceramic industry, the watercolors, pastel and all, the colored, to get colors they use ceramics, and also the materials industrially colored. Color come from even blue jeans, copper compounds. Benedict solution blue because of copper. Benedict solution blue. Biburate solution copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide blue to pinkish purple or blue to brick red. Blue come from copper compounds. Right? Even you get the brass, bronze, that color because of copper, right? Yeah. Even jewelries. Question number 64 is a good question. Color change occurs only in the second reaction. Please raise the hand those who got the second answer before me. Yes, how many of you got the second answer before me? You have to get it because I gave this reaction. We did a calculation. But I told copper 63.5 something. I gave hydrated blue. Everyone should get it. Right. So remember, when I explain one MCQ, you should learn to answer 10 more MCQs because I am not just giving the answer for this MCQ. Just to mark the answer, no need to join the paper class. I can post the marking scheme also with the paper. Right. Try to learn to answer few more MCQs when you discuss one MCQ with me. That is the main objective of the paper class. Right. Question number 65. Okay, I'll do only this and stop. What is the time now? Yeah, I'll do only this. Or else we can, it's almost 7:30, no? Exothermic and endothermic, anyway, it's under, not in grade 11 syllabus, but anyway, under new syllabus. Sodium hydroxide is a base. This is an acid. When acid react with, this is called neutralization reaction. When acid and base react, we call it what? Neutralization reaction. Acid and base neutralization reaction. Because in grade 10 you learn double single decomposition combination. This is a neutralization reaction and exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. This came last year O-level paper. The same thing came last year O-level paper. After 10 years back, now only I can remember this when I see this question. 2020 O-level paper, they gave this. Right? They gave this. So this is what? Exothermic. That means what? Why exo? Heat is evolved. When you mix acid and base, when acid is mixed with base, during the reaction, heat is given out. One observation of a chemical change is heat is released or heat is absorbed. If heat is out, we call it exo. If heat is absorbed, we call it endo. So what is the answer? Accordingly, what can be concluded? Beaker it is observed that beaker gets warm. Beaker gets warm means what? Heat is out. Therefore, it is an exothermic reaction. Answer is first one. Please raise the hand those who got the first answer. Right. Around 10 students. Very good. Very good. I'll do this also and stop. Only this one, right? After this, I'll stop. What is the physical state here? Calcium carbonate. Today also I told limestone. Is that a liquid? Hunugal. Corals in the sea. It's not a gas, right? It's S solid here. You have to put here S solid. HCl AQ because it's aqueous solution. Answer is what? And what is left here? Bracket. Must be this one. They have put that blank. But anyway, S solid and aqueous. There are two answers now. Yeah, we'll go for the second answer. This also keep blank. This also keep blank. Then I'll put here L. Keep this water blank. Then answer is second. Question number 66. Answer is second. Solid, aqueous and liquid. Exactly right. Then question number 67 onwards I'll discuss next week. Now next week I'll do this paper. Current electricity, last 30 years MCQs and chemistry. I think this paper we can complete by next week because only about 10-15 left. About 10-15 left, so we can complete this by next week. Right, it's almost 7:30, 7:35 I think. We'll stop for today. Have a good day and God bless you.